to say now.
Okay. Well, Chris, injury-wise then ahead of the playoffs, Femi Seriki, how is he today?
He's had a scan, so no major damage. So potentially he'll be available for the second leg. So that's good news. He'll miss out on Thursday night. He's got a little bit of damage in that shoulder, but fingers crossed we'll get him ready for Monday.
To talk about him, because I realise we've been through a lot of players who've done well this year. To all intents and purposes, really, it's been Seriki's breakthrough year, hasn't it? And in the volume of football that he's played and the contribution that he's been able to make.
Yeah, I think there's a couple in there, isn't there? So from Femi's point of view, breakthrough year, Sydie obviously picking up the Young Player of the Year award on Sunday night as well was a great acknowledgement and achievement for him in his first season playing regular first team football. So yeah, it's been good for both of those young boys, and there's been opportunities as well in there for the younger players to be in and around the first team. I always remember in around Christmas time where we were low on numbers. I just imagine from your point of view, who's this boy and who's that boy? But Baptiste has been involved, Black has been involved, Ryan O'Neill's been involved as well. Obviously a memorable moment for him at Bristol City when we played down there in the league as well. So yeah, it's been good for the young players, and another really positive point from our point of view, being at the top of the table for in and around the top for the majority of the season and managed to integrate young players into the group has been an outstanding achievement for the academy and for the coaches to integrate them.
Is everybody else okay?
Yeah, everybody else is okay. Yeah. The only one that we talked about was Ben through an illness that he picked up. So he's gathering pace. So we'll make a decision today whether he travels with us or not, and if he doesn't travel us, he'll be definitely involved on Monday.
One or two players have played a little less over the game since Burnley, like Campbell, for instance, but he's not the only one. Yeah. So how kind of healthy is he? In terms of they've not lost anything.
They've not lost anything. There's some intense conversations and discussions in terms of what we needed to do over these two games. I believe everything that we did after the Burnley game, we've ticked all those boxes. Giving players vital minutes to get them up to speed, resting a couple that needed resting, and having two positive performances, very positive performance on Saturday, even though we didn't get the result that I believe we deserved. And that reset after the Burnley game was really important. The preparation going into the playoffs has been very, very good from a physical point of view, getting all those boxes ticked, which we've done, and getting back to winning ways and playing in the manner and the style that has got us into the position that we have with plus 90 points.
The playoffs. Are you a fan of the playoffs and the concept of them?
I'd rather be sat on a beach somewhere right at this particular moment, achieving something. But as everybody talks about, and I've had a little taste of it in 2010. The way to go up, as everybody talks about, is through the playoffs and at Wembley. Two unbelievably difficult games before that. I've got too much respect for the game, too much respect for the opposition and the opposition manager and the opposition club to think that, because we are points ahead in league standing and we've come out of the Premier League, that this is going to be straightforward. It isn't. And obviously everybody talks about going up at Wembley, but we've got to deal with two really difficult games, first and foremost against a very talented group of players that we're up against, that we've seen here at Bramall Lane, that were very good on the night, and obviously two tight games that we've played against them. So expecting it to be no different in both games over the next 4 or 5 days.
I assume something similar has been asked of Liam Manning, but because it's two legs, does that maybe tweak a thought about how you might approach it? And of course, them clearly over two legs.
No, we're going down there to try and get a win. And if they need a win coming back up the road, then they'll be trying to do that as well. So no negative approach. We believe at our best we can compete with any team in the division, and our away record's been absolutely outstanding this season. And we need to continue in that vein of form and be consistent in our approach to every game, which has always been, we go there to win. We might have to suffer, we might get pushed back, we might have to deal with their threats. But I think they recognise as well, from our point of view, in possession, that we've got threats and we can hurt any team in this division.
People like to sort of look at narratives with regard to playoffs, and look, we could talk about history and everything else, but how much is it that those that are successful just kind of have a better no regrets kind of mentality over 3 games?
In terms of what?
Well, just ignoring all the negativity and keep them pushing it to one side and not letting any kind of fears seep in.
Well, there's negativity in football right the way through, isn't there? In everything, whatever club you're at. So everybody has to deal with that. But there's no negativity in this group. I've been consistent in terms of how the players have been energised after the Burnley game and determined to go into the playoffs and win a playoff campaign. So the proof's in the pudding come tomorrow night in our approach. But there's no change in terms of, from a tactical point of view. There's no change in terms of our approach. I've just talked to you about it. We're going there to win. But understand we're going to have to play very, very well to win a game of football at Ashton Gate on Thursday night in front of a very passionate and vociferous home crowd. I talked about, teams getting 100 points, teams getting 90 points, teams getting into the playoffs have had to do a lot of things right this season. I talked about teams that haven't done a lot of things right, that have fallen through the trap door, and big clubs. And teams that are huge clubs that have been in the Premier League that are way below us and way below Bristol City. So, as I've talked about, full credit to Liam and his team for getting into the playoffs. It's an outstanding achievement to extend their season. It wasn't obviously the outcome that we wanted, but there's been no negativity around the place. The players are focused, the staff are focused. We know what we've got to do. We're in good place. Physically, we're in a good place. Mentally, we're in a good place. We've got full selection of a group, apart from maybe one, which is outstanding at this stage of the season. We've got options, and we've got 2 games to go and get the job done.
What do you see as Bristol City's threats then?
Well, technically, they're a really good team. They've caused problems with the shape, and they caused us problems with the shape. I didn't think we were at our best in the home game, and I thought it was possibly a fair result in the home game, which is obviously the most recent of meetings. But they've got some good players, but we've got some big players as well. So big players that have got 90 plus points so far this season. Big players that have played in big games. And big players that are the group are up for the challenge against, as I said, a talented young side, well coached, good players in that well coached team, and as I said, the backing of a really passionate home support. But they'll have to deal with us as well on Monday night as well. But obviously that'll get taken care of when we come to talk about that second leg. But full focus has been on, and obviously trying to get a positive result on Thursday night.
Thank you.
No problem.
Morning, Chris. You all right?
Morning.
I just wondered in the build up to this game. Obviously, everyone knows the importance of it. Have you done anything differently with the players, or has it purposely been a normal sort of
No,
build
nothing
up to
different.
everything?
Nothing different. No need to change. No need to change our approach, our preparation. Full preparation on the opposition, as we've done right the way through the season. That's got us into that position that we've got into, and our away record. So no different approach, no different change in preparation. There's an excitement amongst the group. The players are looking forward to the challenge of taking on a really talented side. And no, we've just kept everything as normal as we possibly can do.
It's a slightly different dynamic being over 2 legs, isn't it? How important is it to sort of keep cool heads, because you can't win it after one game, but you can sort of lose it, can't you, if you don't keep that.
There's a load of things that go into winning a game of football. You know, if you get a man sent off after 10 minutes on Saturday afternoon against Blackburn, you put yourself on the back foot. So there's all those challenges right the way through 46 games. So yeah, the tensions are heightened, the emotions are heightened as well because of the importance of the game and the standing of the game. But you know, good players make good decisions. Good players are disciplined. Good teams are disciplined. Good teams are clinical in both boxes and good in the bit in between. And we're going to have to do all those things. Of course, you know, we're going to have to deal with a big start. They've got a decent home record and they'll be on the front foot. And we're going to have to deal with that, as you do for the majority of away games, when the onus is on the home team to come out and take the game to you. But we want control of the game as well. And we have to make good decisions, you know, mentally as well as technically and tactically.
Yeah, you talked about the sense of excitement amongst the players. What about you and the staff? Because what you've done here is known, is it? This is a chapter. This is a chance to write another chapter in that story, isn't it? How much excitement is there amongst you guys as well?
Yeah, personally, and speaking to the guys, yeah, 100%. We're all looking forward to it. There's no negativity about us at all. It's got nothing to do with us in terms of past records or whatever. It's just stuff that you guys and maybe supporters talk about. We're here to rewrite stuff, as we've talked about, from 2016. If I thought that, I wouldn't have walked in the building in 2016 when the club had 6 years in Division 1. Yeah. And possibly I would have listened to the majority of my pals who said, "What are you doing? Taking the job?" But I took it, and I'll be eternally grateful for being given that opportunity to affect the journey of the football club on the first part of it, through Kevin and Prince Abdullah, and the second part of it through Prince Abdullah and Stephen Bettis as well. So, you know, for me, it's serving the club. You know, this club has given me some incredible moments as a player and supported me incredibly well as a manager, and I want to repay everybody else in terms of doing my absolute utmost, and the coaches, to prepare the players, to get them in the right frame of mind, to put them in the right place physically and tactically, to achieve yet again something that will be special, but understanding that, you know, still the next two games are in front of us. I've got far too much experience. I've been hurt far too many times. And I'm not that type of manager, and the team's not that type of team just to think that we're just going to walk into Ashton Gate on Thursday night and just steamroll over the top of them because we finished 22 points or whatever it is, and we were in the Premier League last year and we've got this player and that player. We've got to go to battle, go and do it the hard way, go and earn the right. But for me personally, to repay all the support that I've had over two stints, with achieving something incredibly special at the end of it is my goal at the end of it. Yeah. There's little battles along the way that we've got to get over, and understanding through, like I said, my experience, nothing's given to you. We've got to go and earn the right to have that special day. And then if we have that special day, we've got to go and earn the right. But a lot of work to be done before, a lot of preparation's gone into it, a lot of focus, determination, and everything that you need to do to be successful in a playoff campaign.
Yeah, you touched on Sydie earlier, obviously well-deserved Young Player of the Year award on Sunday. What have you been most impressed by with him since he came into the group?
Well, just how he's handled Championship football and handled the big games. As I said, all these players have played in big games. You know, you look right the way through their CVs, whether it's, you know, Kiefer playoff games and big games in for promotion and international games, and right the way through the group, you could, you know, and even the boys that maybe are not really talked about a lot in terms of playing big games, they've played in Sheffield derbies, they played in Yorkshire derbies, they know the feel of big games, and we know these two games are going to be big games. Yeah. And from Sidie's point of view, he's handled those games right the way through. Yeah, there's been slight dips in form, which you would expect, but the majority of the time he's been outstanding in everything he's done, and now's the time for him to be consistent and kick his career on. He's given himself a good foothold. He started off his career at Sheffield United in a positive way. but you don't get plaudits after 40 games. You get plaudits when you win things, when you play 250, 300 games, and you achieve things in your career. And he's still got a long way to go on that road.
Yeah. Ask you as well about your keeper player of the year in his first season, which is a big thing, isn't it? I think speaking to him, he was perhaps as surprised as anyone, but it's a worthy win, isn't it, for him?
Yeah, I think there was a load of genuine contenders and candidates for that award. But Michael's had a great season, and not for the amount of work that he's had to do, but for me, similar to Dean Henderson in 18-19, when we're on top, the concentration levels, how clean he's been in terms of his handling and his positivity and coming for things, the big saves that you have to make when your team's on top and you're looking 100 yards down the pitch, and all of a sudden you're going to have to do something to produce a big moment. We're after big moments over these next 2 games, and I'd like to think we'll find those big moments with the players that we've got. But it isn't just a Gus Hamer free kick or Tyrese Campbell finish in a Sheffield derby or whatever, Ben Bertrand Diaz goal against Middlesbrough or whatever it was. Ryan's goal against Coventry, big moments. Big moments are big saves. Yeah. Big save against Portsmouth, other big saves, and how calm he's been as well. So, been an outstanding signing, and to restore assets and give them value, which we've done. Anel, Vinny, and Gus is big for the football club, but to put value on those players that we've bought in. The Harrisons, who got in the team of the year, the Michael Coopers, Sydie Pecks out the young boys. Those are the boys is really important as well. And Michael knows that his season isn't done. He's got 3 other big games to play well in, but he's been outstanding for us.
Yeah, and just more generally, I mean, pound for pound, there's probably not many better signings in the whole football league, is it, than Michael? Does that just show you can have all the data you can want into transfers, but you need that to assess those sort of intangibles, don't you? That character, because it's such a good
I know the narrative, around the club at the moment is data driven, and why not? And it's the way forward. But there is always the eyes and the objectives from the subjective point of view, and the digging into character. His character's outstanding when we've watched him and done our research on him. He's been very, very good, and then getting the deal done was a great bit of business by Stephen Bettis, and to get that over the line. Cheers, thank you.
Obviously the games speak for themselves, Chris, but with the players, some of them will have real personal sort of inspiration. The likes of Gus and Gallon with what happened at Coventry. Harrison's had it a couple of times with Peterborough, so they'll have personal drive as well, won't they?
Yeah, I think there's all different stories right the way through, Leon. So through every part of it, through supporters, through history, negative, through us, positive, and through the players that want to achieve, players that want to get in back into the Premier League, players that played in the Premier League for us last year that have got unfinished business, the younger players that are starting their journey.
Yeah.
So right the way through the group, there's individual stories, but we have to bring that together as a collective to make sure the story is about us having a positive playoff campaign and achieving something that no other team's achieved here, and having the celebrations that the 2 other clubs have had, knowing that the important bit now is obviously getting our head down and cracking on over the next 4 or 5 days.
I spoke to Graham Alexander after the Doncaster Bradford game, and Doncaster was celebrating it, giving him and his lads a bit of inspiration. Is that a little bit same for your lads and yourself? There's been a few parties.
I think I think when we've celebrated, it might have given a bit of inspiration to other teams as well. But you still got to go out and do it, and we understand we've got to go and play well and do the business over the next 2 games. As I said, we're up against a really talented side. We've had 2 incredibly tight games with them. Our away record on Thursday is good. Their home record's good. So it's going to be a tight game. I don't think any of these games between the 4 teams are going to be runaways, and I don't think anybody would approach it. I know Liam wouldn't approach it in that way, giving us the respect that I think we deserve. I certainly won't. The amount of years I've been in the game and understanding what a good side they are. and what a good manager that he is. And I should imagine it would be the same with Sunderland and Coventry as well. So, you know, it's going to be some twists and turns in both games. We're going to have to suffer in points, and we're going to have to enjoy in points. But the main thing is getting through. But you know, difficult games, but ones that we're really looking forward to and are ready for.
In the main, your players have managed games well this season, haven't they? Sort of by and large, in some tense environments.
Yeah, listen. As I said, there's going to be times where we're going to suffer. We're not going to have. In any game, we're not going to have all the ball, all the opportunities. You know, it's not going to be one-way traffic. In those moments, we've all 4 teams have got to handle those moments well, and got to come up with the big moments. And usually, it's the big moments that decide these games. The confidence I have in the group is that, you know, defensively we're pretty good, and we have got big moments in us, as seen all season. So, you know, we're confident. We're confident that we can be successful over these next 2 games. But it's all right me talking about it. It's all right players talking about it amongst themselves and saying, you know, come on, got to go and get the job done. And we're going to have to play well over the next 2 games to get that job done. Cheers, mate. Hey.
I just wanted to touch back on the squad quickly. I know you recently confirmed that you've got players like Shaq's back, Burren Diaz and Raksaki and O'Hare, like they're back in good shape. I was wondering how much of it, like a boost it is going into playoffs, it is to have 95% of the squad fit and healthy.
Amazing boost, getting Tom Davis minutes on the pitch, recovering Gus because he's had some bumps and bruises. Harrison needed to come out of the team as well. So he's through from maybe just a fatigue point of view, and then Sam's come in and done outstandingly well as well. So giving minutes to everybody. So to have those group all on the same page, all fighting for a place, all wanting to be part of it, and it's going to be a 20-man game, and even more over the next 2 games to get through. And every manager will say the same. To have everybody available and putting their hand up to play gives us some great options, some difficult decisions, and having all those boys ready and waiting to go and do a job on Bristol City is a great boost for us.
Yeah, and I know you said as well, like having sort of like a 20-man squad, as you said, how does that help with morale in like such big high stakes games as the playoffs?
Oh yeah, they understand, you know, out of respect for decisions made. If they're not in the team or they're not on the bench or not in the squad, that their full focus has to go into supporting the players that step out on the pitch on Thursday night. But you know, we always, I can't remember one time where we've not used all our complement and quota of subs, and we're going to need all those players right the way through now. And if we do pick up injuries on Thursday, and players may think that they may be not involved, all of a sudden they're back in and they've got to hit the ground running. But they're all on the same page, and they're all determined to play a part and contribute.
Perfect. I also wanted to quickly touch on Arblaster, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
I've seen on Instagram, obviously, he posted recently that he's back on the grass,
yeah,
back into training. I just wanted to ask, you know, he was so influential, I would say personally, in my personal opinion, in the squad before his injury. How big of a boost do you reckon it will be to have him back in the squad eventually, even if it's not in time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 9-month injury, and for the young man's development and future, we can't rush these things. But he's in a fabulous place. I believe he's down there on Thursday night in the stand, which I'm not surprised about with his background. But yeah, we've had to deal with some big losses. Suter was a big loss for us at the time, and Blaster was a big loss for us. But we've overcome them, as a majority of teams have had to overcome their injury issues. So to get him back, he's a huge player. He was fabulous last year, and at the start of the season he was a main player for us. So when he's ready, he's ready. But he's in a good place, and it's good to see him smiling and back out on the grass and working hard in terms of getting closer to a return to training.
How much will Arblasters and Suiters presence, I'd say, like their absence, be felt in during the playoffs, if that makes sense?
No, we've recovered pretty well. Maybe Arblaster's injuries opened the door for Sydie and come in and been our young player of the year. So one player's misfortune is another man's gain. So we're not relying on one player. We've had some good players that have been out for periods of this time, and we've coped incredibly well because we wouldn't have got the 92 points that we've had if we were relying on one or two players. So big blows for them more than anything, but we've covered and coped pretty well. And we're going to have to cover and cope pretty well if we pick up another couple of knocks over the next 2 games.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, cheers.
Just one more.
Step. Oh, sorry, mate. Oh, you sing a song.
Hi, Chris.
Hiya.
Hi, mate. You've got a great chance of bouncing back to the Premier League at the first attempt, but just looking at the bigger picture, you only rebuilt this squad in the summer, and is there an argument that perhaps with another season, a bit more tweaking, that there'd be better place for the Premier League next season?
Shut up and behave. When that door opens, you're not taking that route. You're not taking that route of not stepping through it. When that door opens, you have to take it and take that opportunity, because it's so precious and you have to work so hard to get into that position. So when that door opens, you have to step through it. And we've got an opportunity now to do that. And looking into the future, what will be. In terms of the development and the ambition of the football club, but full focus 100% now is making sure that, you know, when that door does open, as you talked about, that we're ready to step through it and then deal with what we have to deal with if that's the case.
All good.
See you later, guys.